Let me ask you a question that most people avoid. Are you living by design or just drifting through your days? It's not a comfortable question, but if you've ever gone to bed feeling like another day slipped through your fingers, if you've ever wondered why you're working so hard but still not seeing real change, then maybe it's time to stop and really face it. The truth is, most people don't fail because of one big mistake. They fail quietly, slowly, gradually. Not because they were lazy or stupid, but because they drifted, day after day, week after week, year after year. You see, drifting feels safe, familiar. You wake up, check your phone, go to work, come home, eat, watch something, go to bed. Repeat. It doesn't hurt, but it doesn't grow you either. It's not painful. It's numb. And numb is the real enemy of progress. But the people who build wealth, real wealth, financially, emotionally, spiritually, they don't live that way. They don't drift. They decide. They design. Every day is part of a blueprint. Every hour is on purpose. Every habit has a reason. And that's not luck. That's clarity. You are not here to survive your days. You're here to shape them. And that begins with one realization. Where you are today is the result of your routines, your beliefs, and your courage, or lack of it. That's it. Not the economy, not your parents, not your job, not fate, just you. That's terrifying and freeing, because if your current life is the result of old habits, then a better life is the result of new ones. You don't need a miracle. You need a system, a rhythm, a routine that cuts through the noise and builds your future, one choice at a time. Wealth doesn't reward the hopeful. It rewards the prepared, the structured, the bold, the people who choose long-term over instant gratification, the ones who say, "No more waiting. I will be the architect of my life." This video series is your blueprint, your wake-up call, your manual for how to think, plan, and act like the wealthy, not just with money, but with life. We're going to talk about systems, morning routines, financial tracking, automation, skills, environments, calendars, and habits. But beneath all of that, what we're really talking about is power. The power of taking control back. The power of becoming the kind of person success can't ignore. So if you're tired of drifting, if you're ready to stop reacting and start building, if something inside you knows there's more to you than what your current life reflects, then listen closely. Because from this point forward, everything can change. But only if you do. Let's cut through the fluff. If you don't track your net worth, you're not building wealth. You're just hoping things will work out. That may sound harsh, but it's the truth. And if you want to build a different life, you need to start facing the truth more often, because the truth doesn't lie. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't care how busy you were, how many hours you worked, or how stressed you felt. It just tells you exactly where you stand. Your net worth, that one number, is the most honest financial mirror you'll ever look into. It's the scoreboard, the report card, the sum total of everything you've earned, spent, saved, borrowed, and invested. It's the clearest sign of whether you're building something that lasts or just staying afloat. So let's break it down. Net worth equals what you own, minus what you owe. Assets minus liabilities. That's it. Your savings account, your investment portfolio, your real estate equity, your business, your car, your emergency fund. That's the own side. Now subtract your debts, credit cards, student loans, car payments, mortgage balance. That's the owe side. What's left? That number is your net worth. And whether it's $5,000 or negative $50,000, that number is a starting point, not a sentence. Now here's what separates the wealthy from the average. They don't guess where they stand. They know. They don't avoid the numbers. They look them in the eye. Monthly. Without fail. Because when you measure something consistently, you begin to change it intentionally. I remember the first time I calculated my net worth. It was lower than I expected. I felt embarrassed, ashamed even, but then I realized that number wasn't a verdict. It was a challenge, and I love a good challenge. So I set a goal. Increase it by just 1% a month. That's it. 1 month, I paid off a little extra debt. Another month, I added to my investments. Next month, I cancelled a few wasteful subscriptions. Little by little, that number started to move, and so did my mindset. You see, tracking your net worth is not about money. It's about mastery. It's about taking the wheel of your financial life instead of sitting in the back seat hoping someone else knows the way. Every time you sit down and run the numbers, you're declaring something powerful. I am paying attention. I am taking control. I will no longer leave my future to chance. And here's where it gets real. I want you to set a date, right now, same day every month. Make it a ritual. Your wealth check-in. You don't skip it. You don't delay it. You show up. Open your bank statements. Review your debts. Check your investment accounts. Look that number in the eye and say, this is where I stand, and this is where I'm going. You want confidence? Start there. You want momentum? Start there. You want peace of mind, even if the number isn't where you want it yet? Start there. Because when you track it, you shape it, and what you shape, you grow, and what you grow becomes wealth. Let me leave you with this. What you don't measure, you mismanage, and what you mismanage will quietly cost you everything. So stop flying blind. Stop avoiding the numbers. Your net worth deserves your attention, because your future is depending on it. Let me tell you a secret. If you win the first hour of the day, you win the day. And if you win enough days, you win your life. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it's true. The first hour of your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. And yet, what do most people do with that hour? They wake up reactive. They reach for their phone, scroll through social media, check notifications, respond to messages that aren't urgent, from people who don't pay them. They let the world decide how they feel before they've decided who they are. And then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed, distracted, and behind before 9 a.m. But the wealthy, they treat that first hour like sacred ground. They don't leave it to chance. They own it, because they understand something most people don't. Your morning is not for reacting, it's for creating. Creating mindset, creating momentum, creating a powerful direction for the day. Now here's the system that changed everything for me. I split the first hour of my day into 3 powerful segments, each lasting 20 minutes, and I never skip them. 1. Feed your mind, 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes are about input. What goes into your mind first thing in the morning matters more than you realize. So I grab a book, not just any book, a book that sharpens me. Something about money, strategy, psychology, business, something written by someone who's been where I want to go. Because here's the truth, you become what you consume, and your brain, like soil, will grow whatever you plant in it first. If you plant distractions and fear, that's what will grow all day. But if you plant clarity, strategy, and wisdom, then suddenly your decisions start aligning with your goals. 2. Journal with precision, 20 minutes. The second 20 minutes are about output. I sit down with a journal and a pen, no distractions, and I write. I don't just write random thoughts. I write with intention, my goals, my lessons from yesterday, my plans for the week, my income targets, what worked, what didn't, what I'm grateful for, because writing brings clarity, and clarity drives behavior. It's hard to drift when you read your own thoughts every morning. It's hard to lie to yourself when the truth is in black and white on the page. This is where vague wishes become real targets, where dreams become timelines, and where excuses go to die. 3. Act with focus. 20 minutes. The last 20 minutes are about execution. I ask myself one question. What are the 3 money-generating activities I can do today? Not 10, not 20, just 3. The most effective 3. Maybe it's a client follow-up. Maybe it's pitching a new idea. Maybe it's sharpening a skill that pays. But whatever it is, it's intentional. It's connected to my goals. Because wealth isn't built by being busy. It's built by being effective. And when you walk into your day knowing exactly what matters, you walk differently. You don't chase distractions. You ignore them. You don't wait for motivation. You create it. Here's the big idea. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You just need to own your mornings. Because if the first hour belongs to your goals start owning the rest of your day. You become proactive instead of reactive. You start the day on offense, not defense. And over time, those morning wins stack. They compound. They transform not just your finances, but your identity. You stop being someone who wants to build wealth. You become someone who does. So let me challenge you. Starting tomorrow, don't give that first hour away. Don't start your day checking on everyone else's life while ignoring your own. Turn off the noise. Open a book. Grab a journal. Identify your top 3 actions. Make that hour yours. Completely. Relentlessly. Consistently. Because you are not just waking up to face another day, you're waking up to build a legacy. Let's get brutally honest for a moment. If your financial success depends on your willpower, you're going to be broke by Friday. That might sting, but it's true. Willpower is like a phone battery. It drains, it weakens, and if your entire wealth-building plan relies on you remembering to do the right thing every time, you're setting yourself up for failure. The wealthy know something that most people never learn. Discipline is great, but systems are greater. Because systems don't forget. Systems don't get emotional. Systems don't get tired. And the most powerful financial system of all? Automation. Why automation beats willpower? Think about it. You say you'll save whatever's left over at the end of the month. But what's usually left? Regret. The rent is paid, the bills are covered, the meals and takeout are done, the online shopping got you again, and that little voice says, "It's okay, we'll save more next month." But guess what? Next month never changes because you didn't change the system. We don't rise to the level of our intentions. We fall to the level of our structure. What the wealthy do differently. Here's what people who build wealth do. They don't wait to save. They don't hope to invest. They automate it. Before the money even lands in their checking account, it's already moving toward their future. Before their emotions can touch it, before their impulses can spend it, before their stress can justify treating themselves, that money gets moved, automatically, consistently, quietly. The system that changed my life. Here's what I did and what you can do today. I set up an automatic transfer from my main account to a separate savings account, 10% of every paycheck. Non-negotiable, untouchable. At first, it was scary. What if I need that money later? But you know what happened? I adjusted. I adapted. I learned to live on the 90% that was left. And eventually, it didn't feel like a sacrifice. It felt like freedom, because that money was working for me, not sitting in an account waiting to be spent on something forgettable. Automate more than savings. Don't stop at just a savings account. Set up automatic contributions to your investment portfolio. Schedule transfers to your retirement account. Fund your emergency savings every month without thinking about it. Even send money to a future fund account, a guilt-free way to enjoy life while still building. Let the machines do the heavy lifting, because systems don't get distracted. They don't get lazy. They don't lie to themselves. They just work, day after day, week after week, month after month. And that's how wealth is built, not through bursts of energy, but through consistent execution. The invisible advantage. You want to know something funny? Most people who automate their savings never even miss the money, because they never saw it in the first place. It's gone before it tempts them, and what's invisible to their emotions becomes powerful for their future. The magic of automation is that it separates your future-focused decisions from your present-moment feelings. That's power, that's maturity, that's freedom. Don't just automate. Review. One important note: automation isn't set it and forget it forever. Every few months, quarterly is best. Sit down and review your system. Can you increase your savings rate? Should you shift more into investments? Are your goals still aligned with your income? Don't micromanage, but don't ignore either. Automation is the engine. You are the driver. Bottom line: if you want to build wealth that lasts, stop relying on willpower. Automate your good decisions. Let the system win the battle for you. Because when the system is strong, you don't need to be. You don't have to be motivated every day to save. You don't have to remember to invest. You don't have to resist temptation every single time. Your system already made the decision, and that's the difference between financial chaos and financial peace. So ask yourself this: what if your future became your most important bill? What if paying yourself came before everything else? What if the best version of you had a financial system backing them every single day? You don't have to wonder, you just have to automate. Let me give you a piece of advice that changed the entire direction of my life. Don't chase money, chase skills that make you valuable. The money will find you. When I first heard that, I didn't fully understand it. I thought money came from working harder, staying later, taking on more hours, but then I realized something. It's not how hard you work, it's how valuable you are. You can grind 60 hours a week, doing low-value tasks, and still be broke. Or you can work 4 focused hours solving high-level problems, and build serious wealth. The difference isn't hustle, it's skill. The marketplace doesn't pay for time, it pays for value. Let's get one thing straight. The economy doesn't care how much you want to earn. It rewards the problems you can solve. That's it. And to solve bigger, more expensive problems, you need better tools. Those tools are skills. Think about the wealthiest people you know or admire. What do they have in common? They know how to persuade. They know how to negotiate. They know how to market. They understand business models. They communicate clearly and lead effectively. Those aren't personality traits. They're learned skills. And the best part? You can learn them too. A simple system to compound skills. Here's the formula that took me from stuck to scaling. 1 high-value skill per month. That's it. Every month, I'd pick one skill to go deep on. Copywriting, sales, public speaking, digital marketing, financial analysis, negotiation, storytelling, consulting. I didn't try to master everything overnight. I just gave myself 30 days to absorb, practice, and improve one skill. 30 minutes a day, no excuses. Watch videos, take notes, read books, study people who are great at that skill. Practice intentionally. At the end of the month, I reflected. What changed? What did I gain? Where could I use this skill immediately? Then I picked the next one, and kept going. Stack skills equals stack value. You want to become irreplaceable? Stack your skills, because when you combine abilities, your value multiplies. A great communicator is valuable. A great communicator who also understands sales, more valuable. Add copywriting, now you're magnetic. Add digital marketing, now you're scalable. Add leadership, now you're unstoppable. Each skill is a brick. Stack enough bricks, and you build an empire. And here's the beauty. Skills don't expire. They don't disappear. They travel with you from job to job, business to business, season to season. They are yours. Forever. Skill is the ultimate leverage. You've probably heard this before. Work smarter, not harder. Skills are what make that possible. They give you leverage. They give you freedom. They let you charge more, work less, and create more impact. You no longer trade hours for dollars. You trade solutions for rewards. And once the market sees that you can solve a problem that matters, it doesn't just pay you once. It keeps knocking on your door. From income goals to identity goals. Most people say, I want to make more money. But the better question is, who do I need to become to earn more money effortlessly? The answer is always the same. Someone more skilled. Stop thinking like a consumer. Start thinking like a creator. Build your skill stack one layer at a time. And suddenly, instead of chasing opportunity, you become the opportunity. The practical action plan. Here's your challenge. Pick one skill this month. Something with marketplace value. Something that makes you harder to replace. Study it for 30 minutes a day. Read, watch, take notes, practice. At the end of the month, reflect and apply. Ask, how can I use this to solve a problem, serve someone, or sell something? Repeat next month. Do this for a year and you'll have 12 new skills. Skills that compound. Skills that stack. Skills that make you valuable in any economy. Final thought. You don't get rich by hoping. You don't get rich by grinding. You get rich by becoming someone the world cannot ignore, and that person isn't born. They're built. One skill at a time. Let me tell you something most people overlook. Success isn't built in a day. It's built by what you do every day. Not once in a while. Not when you feel like it. Every single day. But here's the problem. Most people know what to do. They just don't do it consistently. They start strong, get distracted, and wonder why nothing changes. You've seen it. New year, new goals, gone by February. New business idea, dies in the planning stage. New habits, fade before results show up. Why? Because motivation fades, but systems don't. The power of a simple habit tracker. If you want to win this game, track your habits. Seriously, don't underestimate this. Get a piece of paper, a whiteboard, a notebook. Write down the 5 actions that move your life forward, and check them off every day. Sounds simple, right? It is, but it's also powerful. Because what you track, you improve. And what you improve consistently compounds. Small actions, big impact. Let me show you how powerful this gets. You want to grow a business? Send just 1 message a day to a potential client. That's 30 a month, over 360 a year. Even if only 10% respond, that's 36 leads. Think you can close a few? You bet. You want to build your brand? Post 1 useful idea a day on social media, not to go viral, to build credibility, trust, visibility. Over time, people associate your name with value. You want to read more? Just 10 pages a day. That's 300 a month, over 3,600 a year. That's 15 to 20 books. Most people don't even finish one. Want better financial awareness? Spend 10 minutes a day reviewing the market, your income, your numbers. You'll start seeing patterns others miss, opportunities they never recognize. The compound effect is real. You might not feel it after 1 day, or 3 days, or 10, but give it 30, then 90, and suddenly your habits start to pay you, not just in income, but in clarity, confidence, and control. You look back at your tracker and realize, I didn't skip, I didn't wait for motivation, I showed up every day. That builds trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, you start taking bolder steps. You stop hoping and start expecting results because you've earned them. Habits are bricks. Think of it like building a castle. Every small habit is a brick. Is one brick impressive? Number. But lay them every day, and in a year, you've built something massive. Wealth is the same. You don't need a grand gesture. You need consistent, small decisions, stacked daily. Build your personal tracker. Here's how to start. List 5 habits that move you toward your goal. Not fluff. Actions that create results. Example: 1 client outreach, 10 pages of reading, 10 minutes financial review, 1 social post, wake up by 6 a.m., create a visual tracker, something you see every day, a whiteboard, a calendar, an app, whatever works. Check off each habit daily. No negotiation, no perfectionism, just execution. Review weekly. What's working? What needs adjusting? Remember, you're not tracking perfection. You're tracking progress. Your habits will start to pay you. At first, it might feel like work, but soon the habits become natural, automatic. They stop being a chore and start being a source of power. Because when your habits are aligned, your results aren't optional. They're inevitable. You're no longer hoping to succeed. You're engineering it. Final word: most people chase momentum, but the winners, they build it, one habit at a time. So here's the challenge. Write your 5 habits. Commit to 30 days. Track them every single day. Because when your habits become automatic, so does your progress. Let me ask you something most people never stop to consider. Is your environment helping you build wealth, or silently sabotaging it? You see, success doesn't just come from motivation, goals, or strategy. It also comes from atmosphere, from the space where you think, plan, and act every single day. And yet most people don't realize this. They try to build focus in the middle of clutter. They try to plan a better future at a messy desk. They try to make wealth-building decisions in the same place they scroll, binge, and nap. It doesn't work. Because here's the truth. Your surroundings shape your standards, and your standards determine your future. Cluttered space equals cluttered mind. You know the feeling. You sit down to work, but your desk is a mess. There's unopened mail, old coffee cups, half-read books, random to-do lists. Instead of clarity, you feel chaos. Instead of action, you feel anxiety. And worst of all, you don't even realize it's the environment that's dragging you down. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you lack focus. It's that your environment is designed for distraction, not execution. Your environment is a silent coach. Now imagine this instead. You walk into a clean, clear workspace. Your desk is organized. There's a notebook open to your goals, a journal beside it with your plan. Your laptop is ready. No notifications, no noise. On the wall, a quote, a vision board, maybe even your income target. That space speaks to your mind. It says, here, we create, we build, we focus. It pulls you into alignment. You become a different version of yourself, stronger, sharper, more intentional. That's not a coincidence. That's design. Build a wealth space, not just a workspace. You don't need a luxury office. You don't need expensive gear or fancy setups. What you need is intention. Start small. Clear your desk completely. Choose one tool or device that you associate only with work. Keep only what you need. Journal, planner, laptop, a few high-leverage books. Add one item that inspires you. Vision board, framed goal, quote that drives you. Let everything else go, because when your space is in order, your mind follows. And when your mind is clear, your decisions improve, your energy shifts, and your output multiplies. Create boundaries. Inside your space. Here's something most people never do, but wealthy people always do. They protect their environment like they protect their money. You can't scroll Instagram in the same spot where you're supposed to close deals. You can't lie in bed and expect to build a brand. You can't design your dream life on the same couch you waste hours on. It's not about judgment, it's about separation. Separate the space where you build from the space where you rest. Because the brain learns context, and when your space tells your mind what it's there to do, your habits become stronger without you even trying. Small space, big impact. When I first started building my future, I didn't have much, just a small desk in the corner of a shared apartment, but I made that space sacred. No distractions, only tools for creation. Books, notes, calendar, and my vision printed on paper. And you know what? Some of my best ideas, some of the decisions that tripled my income, were made at that desk. Not because the desk was special, but because the space told me, here, we act like someone who's going somewhere. The weekend, reset. Here's your challenge. This weekend, audit your environment. Ask yourself, is this space inspiring me or exhausting me? Does this room reflect who I want to become? Is my desk designed for decisions or distractions? Then clean it, simplify it, curate it, remove what drains you, add what drives you. Let your environment whisper to your mind every single day. Let's build something great. Final thought. You don't need more motivation. You need more alignment. And alignment starts with atmosphere, because wealth isn't just built in spreadsheets and systems. It's built in the quiet corners of your life, where your surroundings match your standards, and your standards begin to rise. Let me give it to you straight. If your calendar doesn't reflect your financial goals, you're not serious about wealth. Most people say they want success, but when you look at their schedule, it's either blank or full of meaningless activity. And here's the harsh truth. You can't build a wealthy life on a random schedule. Wealth is not a lottery win. It's a rhythm. And if you don't give your time a job, it will be stolen by distractions, by urgency, by other people's priorities. The wealthy understand this. They don't wait for time. They assign it, intentionally, repeatedly. They know that success doesn't show up in their life. It shows up on their calendar first. Structure is freedom. Most people avoid structure because they think it's restrictive. But structure is the opposite of restriction. It's liberation. Structure frees your mind from decision fatigue. It eliminates confusion. It creates momentum. When you don't have to guess what you should be doing each day, you move faster. You act with power. And that's how wealthy people move, on purpose. The Wealth Calendar Framework. Here's the calendar system that changed everything for me. I gave each day of the week a dedicated focus, aligned with my goals. Why? Because not every day is created equal. Each day has its own energy, and when you channel it, you multiply results with less effort. Let me break it down. Monday, mental upgrade day. Start your week feeding the machine, your mind. Study your industry. Read wealth-building books. Watch content that improves your strategy. Reflect on mistakes. Review big-picture goals. You're sharpening your edge for the week ahead. Upgrade your input, and your output transforms. Tuesday, sales and income day. Tuesday is your make the money move day. Send pitches, book calls, follow up on leads, make offers, ask for the sale. Don't just talk about value, deliver it, sell it, scale it, because no income equals no business. Tuesday builds cash flow. Wednesday, finance review. Day midweek is perfect for a check-in. Review expenses, track your net worth, check your investments, Look at your revenue and waste. Ask, what can I optimize this week? It's the dashboard that tells you if you're driving blind or in control. Thursday, networking and relationships. Thursday is for strategic connection. Reach out to mentors. Thank your best clients. Set up collaborations. Deepen meaningful connections. Your network is your multiplier, and relationships require nurturing. Wealth loves connection. Friday, creation day. You've consumed all week. Now it's time to produce, write, record, design, building. Whether it's content, products, systems, or strategy, Friday is for putting something valuable into the world, because the marketplace pays you for one thing: value. Creation equals value. Period. Sunday, reflection and reset. No Netflix marathons. No endless scrolling. Review the week. What worked? What didn't? What are you proud of? What's the next focus? Close the loop intentionally and prepare to start strong again Monday. Your calendar equals your character. Listen closely. You don't need to do 100 things a day. You need to do the right things consistently. A calendar with purpose removes excuses. It keeps you accountable. It reflects a person who is building wealth, not just hoping for it. So here's your next move. Open your calendar. Assign a theme to each day based on what you need most. Block time. Protect it. Don't let others fill your schedule before you do, because if your time is your life, then your calendar is your blueprint for success. Final word. You're not too busy. You're just understructured. It's not about squeezing more in. It's about doing less with more focus. So stop letting your days happen to you. Start telling each one what it's for. And little by little, week by week, you'll build a life that's impossible to ignore. Let's bring it all together. You've just been handed a roadmap, not just to money, but to something deeper: ownership. Ownership of your time, your habits, your mindset, your results. Because here's the truth most people never accept. Wealth isn't a moment. It's a rhythm. It's not built by one big win. It's built by what you do consistently, especially when no one's watching. It's built when you sit down every month to track your net worth, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Own the first hour of your day before the world pulls you off course. Automate your money so good decisions happen by default. Stack high-value skills until opportunity has no choice but to chase you. Track small daily habits and show up without excuses. Build an environment that sharpens your focus and raises your standards. Design a calendar that reflects your ambition, not your distractions. Audit and plug the tiny leaks that quietly sabotage your financial future. That's how wealth is built. Not in theory, not on paper, but in motion. And that motion begins today, not next week, not after the next crisis, not when it feels easier. Now, what happens if you don't? Let's be real. If you ignore what you've just learned, nothing bad will happen tomorrow. You'll wake up, do your thing, get through the week. Life will feel fine, but here's what will happen. Slowly, the days will blur together. Your energy will fade. Your goals will get dusty. You'll survive Monday, tolerate Friday, and wonder where the decade went. And that's the danger, not disaster. Drift, what happens if you do? But if you act, if you truly commit, even just one system, one new habit, one shift in routine, you'll feel it. You'll move differently. You'll start thinking long term. You'll make decisions from clarity, not from chaos, and the results will begin to compound. Quietly at first, then undeniably. That's how the transformation begins. What to do next? Here's your final challenge. Pick one principle from this video. Just one. Implement it today, not someday. Set a reminder to review your progress weekly. Share this mindset with one person who needs it. And then, keep going. Wealth doesn't respond to who you want to be. It responds to what you do daily. So build your system, guard your time, track your numbers, grow your skill set, raise your standards, and never stop showing up. Because the life you want, it's not found, it's built. And now, you know how to build it. Your turn. You've reached the end of the playbook. The next step? Execution. So take the first one, then another, until discipline becomes your default and wealth becomes your result. Let's build, every day, with intention. You've got this.